Here, it has milk.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch terrible movies so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
I actually have a comment about this movie because, hold on, we should talk about what the movie is first. So,
Yeah, I guess so.
But I have a lot of milk comments about this movie.
Are
Anyways,
you saying my quote doesn't explain everything?
it just hit a deep core to me because milk is a thing in this movie, and I was like, is this a thing? So I don't even know where to begin here. So we're back. This is part one of our teardown. Jared, so last week we did trailer trash for White Noise. Why don't you
Remember
give
we
us
used to pretend it might not be two parts?
Yeah. Now I'm like,
So sorry, listeners.
Nope. We're just leaning in. We're all the way leaned in on this.
Yeah. Remember we used to pretend?
Mm-hmm. So last week we did trailer trash for the 2005 movie White Noise with Michael Keaton. So before we go any further, Jared, why don't you give what's the log line or the summary of this movie?
So it's White Noise, 2005's White Noise, not to be confused with 2021 White Noise.
Oh, Jesus.
So the premise here, an architect's desire to speak with his wife from beyond the grave becomes an obsession with supernatural repercussions.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Uh-huh.
Pretty good description, I think, of what happened.
Yeah, no, this might be one of that nails it.
Yeah, they're not Harry Pottering us.
Nope. They're not Artemis fouling us here. They're not any other movie where it's super generic and you're like, cool, that's like every movie you've ever described.
Yeah, this is good. 3
people do something and it has consequences.
Do they learn?
Do they all right, so we've watched this entire movie. It's only an hour and 38 minutes, so it's not a total terrible distraction.
No. But my expectations were confirmed. And I don't know about yours, but like there was too much Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I mean it's 90% Keaton, right?
At least. I think that's an underestimation of how
he might actually be in every single scene in the movie.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Right?
Where's there a scene where he's not?
Can't tell you. Man, he's in it. He's in it. So.
No, because those are still scenes. I was going to say, like, he's not always with the people, but it's like cutting around. And
all right. So like scene. The panning of the city. Yeah, sure. He's not in that.
Sure.
It'd be kind of funny. He just popped up and like, hey. So your expectations from the trailer met?
I think so. It was not good. There was too much Keaton, and it wasn't the worst movie we've ever seen. What did you think?
So to the listeners here, so Jared suggested this movie. He'd seen it when it first came out in theaters, which is crazy. I'd never even heard of it. And so he watched it before I did, right? Right. And then I remember you sent me a text and you're like, "Hey, good luck. This movie's it's a slog.
It's slow. It's very
slow, right?" Which we run into a lot of movies. Like, wow, awesome. We're like, terrible movie. It's only an hour and a half, and it ends up feeling like it's 4 hours long. Yes, which is usually a problem with a lot of terrible movies, right? And I'll be honest, I watched it and I didn't feel that slog. I don't know.
You're wrong. You're very wrong.
I didn't feel that slog. I don't know. It definitely is. I think it's the worst movie we've watched.
What? You think this is the best movie we've done?
I'm
even on like entertainment. I mean, all right. I'll give you maybe it's the best.
I mean, I know I'm wrong, but
no, you're not wrong. Like it's definitely like one of the most credible movies we've watched. But
is it though? Even then, now I'm thinking back, like what did like all the movies we've watched? I don't know.
Like The Fanatic is way more watchable, I think.
Yes,
right?
Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and it's stupid.
Yeah,
so
it has Limp Bizkit.
It's got Limp.
I'm trying to think of what other ones were good. None of them were good.
No, none of them are good. So that's why it's tough to pull them up. No, so I don't know. It didn't feel like a slog for me. It actually was like, oh, an hour and a half. But it also felt like nothing. It felt like so empty until like the third act, like the very end. And I was like, oh, yes. now it's actually getting kind of interesting. Before it's just really boring, and it's like you could make this so much more interesting. It's like it felt like something.
And that's why I don't understand your premise here of like it's kind of watchable because it's so fucking boring.
I don't know if I said it's kind of watchable. I just said it's the best movie we've seen.
Like I would.
Does that translate to kind of watchable? I guess it does.
I think so. Yes. Like I would gladly watch Show Dogs again.
No, absolutely not.
Before I watch this movie,
I'd watch this over Show Dogs. I'd watch this over Last American Crime.
Nope, that was good too.
I'd watch it over probably definitely over Jiu-Jitsu.
I'd watch Artemis Fowl a third time before I watch this movie again.
I think I'd watch this over Artemis Fowl. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun one. Okay.
Yeah, this movie's. I mean, I've seen this once. Now I've seen it twice. I didn't remember anything about the movie other than how angry I was when I left the theater, and I think I'm backing that up now. Of like, what did I just waste an hour and 40 minutes on?
Now I want to be very clear to all the listeners here. I'm not saying this is a good movie.
No.
Okay.
No, of course not.
Like we don't do that here. This isn't what we do.
It's not Toy Story. It's not. It's not Batman.
No. It's not good. But I think it is so close to it the execution, which we say I think about every bad movie we've ever watched. It's like always comes down to the execution of like there's moments where it's like, oh, this has got something to it, but it just.
Well, I mean, the premise is cool. Like, and that's why, why I went to go see it in the theaters because I was like, wow, horror movie about communicating with dead people through static.
Yeah,
neat. That sounds
awesome.
Fun.
12-year-old Jared, all excited about going.
All right, I was 16 at the time, Russ.
I'm close enough.
Drove myself to the theater. Thank you very much.
Not in your own car, parents' car.
No, in my own car. No. I had my own car back then. My parents bought me a car. That was very nice. 1997 Volvo station wagon.
Wow, nice. Yeah. I had a Honda Accord, 1985 Honda Accord.
Ooh, nice.
Everything was a beast. Lasted forever.
Durable.
You can't go wrong with that car. Until it dies. So,
yeah, Honda, not a sponsor. Neither is Volvo. If you want to sponsor us, send us an email.
We don't mind Big Auto.
So, they're probably listening. I bet they're listening.
They're always listening.
Yeah, they're cool.
So, all right. So that's, I don't know. So I think this is going to be fun because I think there was moments that I actually was like, I think I kind of like this moment. It's not, they're kind of missing a point here, but it's pretty.
I'm going to yell at you.
It's going to be good. This is going to be good. It's going to be fun. This might be the first time we're like.
Well, it's the first time that we're on reverse roles because there are movies that I've enjoyed that you hated all of them.
I was just gonna say, like maybe to come the second part 2, I'll just be purely angry. So
I hope so.
Let's get there. It's gonna be great. Yeah. All right. So the quick info on this one, it was directed by Jeffrey Sachs. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you know him from anything.
No.
Spoilers, he's not from anything.
Yeah. Not in this country, at least.
No, he's a British TV director.
Yeah.
Your prediction, I feel like, was spot on. Of this is a made-for-TV movie. Yeah, and we'll get into it in the fast facts, but Michael Keaton obsessed with the director. He loves this guy.
Really?
Yeah.
They've never worked together again, though.
No, never before and never since.
So that's kind of a.
Yeah,
kind of a
something
red
to think
flag.
about.
That's a red flag. So screenwriter is only one, Niall Johnson, also British fella. He's only got a few credits, not much.
Yeah, which did you look them up? Keeping Mum in Mum's list, very mum focused. Those are his big 2 credits, and Keeping Mum is actually I feel like Thais would love it. It's a Rowan Atkinson joint. Well, Mr. Bean for everyone.
Yep. Yeah, for everyone in the States, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, it sounds horrible, but like we should do that on the podcast. But
this also, now this is starting to make sense. We have a British director, British screenwriter. This also makes sense why we have the British smart guy who knows all the how to. They're probably all friends, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and everyone else is Canadian.
Right. Yeah. Everyone else is Canadian. So perfect transition into the actors of this movie. So Michael Keaton, obviously top billed. He's in 99.9% of this movie. We got Deborah Kara Unger,
who I recognize, but I don't know. Like, you know who she is, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
I was just about to say, yeah, I remember her from Highlander 3.
Yeah. I remember her from White Noise.
No, she was also, she was in the game. That's right. It's funny because I just watched the game the other day and I was like,
oh, speaking of games, she's the one who does a ton of video game voice acting, right? She's in a bunch of Star Wars games.
A lot of Star Wars Old Republic stuff she did back in the mid 6 years ago.
Sick. Rest in peace, legends.
I also want to say that she was in Crash, but I can't remember.
Why? Why would she be in Crash?
She was. I knew it. 1996 Crash. Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She was in one
Highlander,
movie that I've heard of.
And then Highlander Final Dimension. So, yeah.
Which, did you actually see?
Yeah. Mario Van Peebles. Absolutely.
Oh, I did not.
Kidding me?
I stopped after the second one.
The second one was not.
That's why I stopped.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair.
I was like, oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Deborah Kara Unger. So she's in this, and
okay.
We have Ian McNeice,
right? Who I did figure out where I recognize him from. So Thais recognized him from Ace Ventura.
Oh,
yeah, and I recognize him from Doctor Who. He plays Winston Churchill in a bunch of Doctor Who episodes.
Wow. Ace Ventura. Yeah. That's a great pull. Yeah. I would not have picked that right just from like looking at him. No way.
No. Journeyman actor, Ian McNeice. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's like it's just really the three of them. We should call out Michael Keaton's wife, Anna Chandra West plays his wife, but
do you say Chandra?
Yeah. What would you say?
Chandra. I think it's a soft. Yeah.
Oh, wait. You said what was it?
Chandra.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably right. Yeah. What did I say? Chandra.
Yeah, that seems offensive.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely not. That's not right at all. Actually, that's completely wrong. Chandra. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Chandra West.
It's not. I mean, well, it's not Emiratis or anything like that, but
no, or Shuriken.
Long-time listeners will know.
Or Shuriken.
Well, Shuriken, right?
Which I listened to it on YouTube and I was actually pronouncing it correctly. So.
Son of a bitch.
Yep. But yeah, no, I know. I agree with you on this one. Chandra. I was looking at the CH going for a hard, CH sound.
Right. Which
Spanish. That's, I've, took Spanish for 8 years.
See?
Yeah. I was almost going to go Chandra West, but.
Wow, that's too much.
That seems a little bit aggressive. So
then
I was like.
It's Italian then.
Yeah.
Which I studied. Yeah, we don't have any. Actually, I don't think we have any listeners in Italy yet. So
we do now.
If you're out there and you know an Italian, let them know about It's This Meets That, please. And thank you.
If you know an Italian,
yeah, Italians are still one of the people that we can like kind of we can do like. Yeah, my last name's DeLuca. We can do like a Mario. We can do a Mario
Capasso,
bit.
So it's like,
it's
a
me.
Whatever. It's fine. Like whatever. I think that's fine. Right?
If you know an Italian.
Is that still fine? Can we make fun of ourselves?
Capasso and DeLuca. We got.
Can we make fun of ourselves anymore? I don't even know. Sure.
Yes, I think so. Okay.
So. Can I make fun of
that's
you?
That's so cool.
You can make fun of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank God. So that's pretty much it. Who's in the movie? There's a kid and there's a detective, but it doesn't matter.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Not interested.
Not interested. We'll talk about them when they come up, and it doesn't matter. So production, box office. This is awesome. Mm-hmm. I hope you prepared your numbers here. So
Go on.
The fanatic numbers here. So,
yes.
Estimated budget for this movie, and I think this is probably just production budget. It doesn't include all the marketing, but let's even just.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man, because I feel like.
You think that's
why
all
wouldn't it be the marketing? Yeah.
You think that's inclusive of like everything?
Why wouldn't it be?
All right, let's just throw it out there. So, estimated budget was $10 million.
Right.
Okay.
That's not that much money. We've seen way higher budget movies in our time here.
Yeah, done much worse too.
Yeah, I mean, Artemis Fowl, I think, blows it out of the water, right? Is our biggest budget that we've done.
Yeah.
Well, Show Dogs was up there, though. That was like a 50 million, I thought.
Yeah, but Artemis Fowl was like 90 almost, wasn't it?
Yeah.
90 or 100. Yeah. So like that's
it was deep.
Yeah, that's Disney pocket. That's Disney purse money right there.
You'll have to see it.
Yeah. So anyway. 10 million was the budget.
Yeah.
Whether that's including marketing or not, but let's just say it's just the production budget, which I guess it still feels like a lot. I mean, Michael Keaton, he probably demanded most of that.
Half. Yeah, probably half.
Right? In 2005. Unger and everyone else, no one is pulling in anywhere near that. No,
they're getting like $500 a day. Whatever the lowest possible SAG rate is what they're getting. Yeah.
So that's the estimated budget. Now the next numbers are the revenue. So gross in the US and Canada. I can't believe this. 56 million.
Gross.
In change. In change, by the way, is a couple hundred. It's 50. We'll just call it 56,300,000. 400,000. It's closer to 400,000. 56,400,000.
I hate it.
That's just in the US and Canada.
Yeah. What are we talking totals here?
You want worldwide? You want worldwide? All right. Buckle up. 91 million. I can't even say it. I'm laughing. $91,196,419.57 worldwide.
That's an unfathomable amount of money for this movie. Carry the two. That's roughly 24,000 fanatics in terms of revenue.
Like what? Even if the 10 million is just like the production budget, and let's just say they did. I mean, I think throwing another 10 million for a marketing budget is like being very, very generous. But let's even just say they threw another 10 million in marketing budget. $20 million, you still made
like $1 squillion. Too much money.
Like this movie made enough money to make 2 sequels.
Yeah, this movie's trash. This movie has made enough money to make probably almost a half of the movie that we've covered on this podcast.
Holy shit.
Truly unbelievable.
Yeah. Hollywood pitch. What do you got? I think these are good. I'm excited for these.
Yeah. I went for what we like to call a classic Keaton 3-way. This movie is clearly so this works on a lot of levels, right? Just the Keaton 3-way, I mean. So we've got The Squeeze.
Okay.
Right? Meets Multiplicity meets Mr. Mom.
I can't argue with that.
No, one of your favorite movies of all time, probably.
Mr. Mom, one of my favorite movies, yeah.
So The Squeeze, because there's a weird amount of this that like turns into there's like a couple of murder investigations, a couple of like pre-murder investigations.
Yep.
That I don't care for. Like Michael Keaton might as well be just some like rando artist because he's an architect.
Yep.
Right? As he was. And lastly, one of the most notable things about The Squeeze is the accident that took place during filming. Are you aware, Russ?
No, I can't wait.
I'm so sorry to this man's family. So, during the filming of The Squeeze, a stuntman was killed.
Oh, Jesus.
Driving a car into the Hudson River.
What?
It's
terrible.
As we know, spoilers, Michael Keaton's wife in this movie dies in a river.
What? What?
Yeah, but also it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. That's
And
terrible.
also, The Squeeze is not a good movie, not worth dying for.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah.
Rest in
So
peace. That's rest in peace.
Yeah. So if any of his family ever listens to this, I'm so sorry.
They'll understand. No, they won't.
There's literally no possible way anyone from that. If you do, send us an email, please.
Reach out.
Yeah,
our condolences, but Jesus.
Yeah, our condolences. Fuck you. So meets Multiplicity. This one's just way simpler. Too much Michael Keaton.
I knew you were going with that one. Yeah,
Multiplicity's biggest flaw is too much Michael
Keaton.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have enough Michael Keaton, but you can have too much Michael Keaton.
Yes, which I didn't know.
Yeah, you don't know it until you run into it, and you're like, ooh. Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen so many Michael Keatons since Multiplicity.
That's fair.
And then meets Mr. Mom. And now I'm flipping the script. We're flipping the script.
I love it.
This is my classic aspirational wishful thinking.
Okay.
Poor Michael Keaton's son in this movie, neglected.
Completely neglected. Spoilers, but the kid's just...
I feel so bad for the kid.
Yeah, forgotten about. And this is probably like the second or third movie we've watched, by the way, where the parents have just not... They've had a kid and just no one cared.
Yeah. You hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
Yeah.
And unlike Mr. Mom, where Michael Keaton turns into a great dad.
Yeah. Ultimate dad. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mr. Mom, some would say.
Right.
Back then.
Yeah, it's back in the 80s. It's not called Mr. Dad.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, that's my pitch.
All right, that's pretty good. You went pretty dark in the beginning there.
Yep.
Now I'm kind of, reflecting back on what was said. And
no dead stuntmans in yours?
Nope. All right, you ready for
like I said stuntmans? Like that's the plural of stuntmen?
Yeah, stuntmans. Stuntmans.
It's gonna be a long episode, isn't it?
Yep. All right, you ready for mine? You ready? Here we go.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm gonna let you finish sipping that beer. I don't think you're gonna laugh. I don't think you're gonna do a spit take on this. I just want to wait. I think it's The Ring meets Frequency meets Clean and Sober. I also saw that you went for the Keaton 3. I was like, I'm not going to be out. I'm not going to be outdone. No, I'm doing the Keaton 3.
When in doubt.
So The Ring horror movie thriller about, you see the video, you die within 7 days, right?
Is Michael Keaton in that?
No. Oh. But the premise of watching static and then dying 7 days later.
Sure.
Kind of parallel to this movie because there is a lot of static watching, a lot of static watching.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts turning into, all of a sudden, all the people that he's seen through the static end up dying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. And shout out to our Japanese listeners, Russ's friends there in Japan. Mm-hmm. Ringu for you over there.
Same call. Nice call. Well done, my friend.
Thanks.
All right, so we get The Ring meets Frequency. I don't remember Frequency. It's kind of a fun movie.
It sounds familiar, but remind me.
All right, so it's the 2000 movie with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel there, right?
I hate Dennis Quaid. Yeah.
Do we need to do some Dennis Quaid movies? I mean, we could. That's pretty easy, right?
I don't want to give him any more.
So this is more of like a speaking through an old time ham radio, right? And communicating with the past. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but so he.
Oh, now it's kind of ringing a bell.
Yeah. So I'm taking that connection because in this movie, people communicating through static and kind of there is a little bit of a time thing going on in this movie where.
Right.
He's
trying to prevent death, right?
Yeah, he's trying to prevent a death in this movie, right? So we get The Ring meets Frequency and then meets Clean and Sober. Clean and Sober is early...
I've never seen Clean and Sober.
Yeah, so this is an old school Michael Keaton. movie. Just basically, he's a drug addict, and he's like, there's addiction, and he does Michael Keaton craziness.
Oh, that sounds heavy.
So, and in this movie, he does get a little obsessed, and he throws remote controls. He does get angry.
Okay.
And in Clean and Sober, addict, he's addicted. He in this movie, he's addicted to the static and trying to hear his dead wife. So,
okay.
I feel like I nailed that one. So
yeah, no, that's some of your best work, I think.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
That's
maybe I'll go watch Clean and Sober. I won't.
No, I wouldn't watch that. Yeah, go watch and have a beer while you're watching it.
Yeah, sounds good.
So that's it. That's it. The Hollywood Pitch. Those were good. I think that was good.
Yeah, and
I say that all the time because I don't think there's ever a time where I'm be like, oh, those were terrible. Well, no, I probably would say like these were terrible. Let's move on.
I would definitely say that.
Yeah, I think we call it up.
And I think listeners have, I've heard through the grapevine here and there, have asked for more Hollywood Pitch speed rounds like we did for your birthday there a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was fun.
So like if you want to join the chorus, I think we should we'll do a holiday special or something where we do a speed round again, like make a whole episode. We can do
a whole episode of Hollywood Pitches. Yeah,
I don't know, something to think about.
I'm on board with that.
But yeah, let us know if you want to hear that too, listeners.
Yeah.
And then as far as fast facts go, you're going to have to stop me because I went a little off the rails here.
So what happens when I just let you do whichever you want, huh?
I know.
Holy
so
smokes.
This one's like not even a fast fact. Well, it's kind of a fast fact.
Yeah.
I didn't list it though. So there is a sequel. Are you aware of the sequel?
Wait, hold on. There's a sequel to this movie?
Yep. It's called White Noise, White Light.
I did not know that, but
Into the Light, maybe.
We were literally just talking about how much money this movie made. Then it's pretty obvious that there is a sequel. So
right.
Okay.
Divorced from the story of this, completely unrelated.
Really?
It's like an anthology. It's like an anthology series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go easy.
Well, no, because the director of the second one, it's a different director. The director of the second one said he wanted to do a third one. Never happened, luckily. But yeah, White Noise 2, The Light, 70. So in contrast to the 7% on Rotten Tomatoes that our White Noise got, this one got 75%. It was direct to video, to be fair.
Yeah.
But still 75% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy shit.
Like it's worth watching.
So, I mean, I like just pulling up real quick. It has Nathan Fillion in it.
I know. And Katie Sackhoff.
And Katie Sackhoff. Like, okay,
yeah. It's a real movie.
Yeah, like that's enough to get people to like at least check it out.
Direct to video though.
Yeah, I mean not most of what they do is pretty much going.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, but they still have a fan base and they're still great. They're still fun, they're awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the pre-fast fact for you. Is there was a White Noise 2.
Okay.
Electric Boogaloo. And it got really good reviews.
I can't believe this. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So back to our bad version. Wait. Let's confirm this because I'm pretty sure last I looked, it was 75%.
Wow. Yeah. White Noise 2.
Bad audience scores.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really trust audience reviews.
Fair.
As I say that as BS, this is what we do.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of audience reviews, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, and I know you do.
You absolutely do. We know you do. At least 13% of you do.
It would be amazing if you gave us a review, any kind of review. Ideally, 5 stars would be nice.
Yeah.
You could say something mean about us in the comments if you want.
Yeah, I mean that's not nice though, but there's enough negativity in the internet. Like let's just be positive, but sure.
We'd prefer that.
But we'll take it.
But if you give us 5 stars, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Anyway, so yeah, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Truly unbelievable for a sequel to this abomination that you wouldn't like. They kind of left it to a sequel at the end, but they kind of left it to a sequel that's related.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know.
I mean, and to go from 7% to 75% on the sequel,
right?
That's crazy.
Astonishing.
Wow.
So,
okay. All right.
Into the real fast facts.
Here we go.
We've got a couple of the EVP recordings in the trailer. Remember those when they explained to us what EVP was?
Yep. The first time they explained it to us. Yep.
Yeah, those are real, quote unquote, real EVP recordings.
Really?
Yep. So not made for the movie, made in real life. Attributed to a couple of rando people there. But really something to think about, because as we'll get into in a second, Michael Keaton is very bought in on maybe we don't know everything there is to know about EVP.
Now, little sidebar here. What's your take on EVP? Are you into it?
No, I'm out on that. I'm not I don't believe in an afterlife.
Wow, Jesus. Okay.
In general,
that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a rot in the ground boy.
We all just become, worm food, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what your God take is, but mine is probably rotting in the ground, for better or worse.
Yeah, I think probably along those lines. I think I'm on the same page. At least
Yeah, I'd like to think there's something else, but I don't buy it. But okay. So yeah,
we're certainly leave this very ambiguous as to what, but Jared's full on. Nah.
Yeah, nah.
I'm good.
Not for me.
Not for me.
But hey, you do you. I'm not going to yuck your yum.
Nope, you do you. That's what it's all about. So
exactly. So anyway, I'm not a big EVP guy.
Okay.
But at the same time, those were a couple of interesting recordings. Ruth Baxter, I couldn't hear shit. That was kind of like a womp, womp, womp. But the other one was like, I love you, and I think I heard it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. You think they're just like making, what you think you could hear out of it. They're just turning that into it, or it's just noise. It's just
maybe.
And people are just like, oh, you know what I heard there, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh yeah, I heard that too. And all of a sudden, if you have enough people who say I heard it, then it's a thing, right?
Well, we'll get to that in a second. Yes. You might change your tune, Russ.
Okay, all right. Hit me again. Let's go.
So, I don't know if you noticed this. This is more of a goof than a fast fact, but we could talk about it the whole movie. I'm not sure if you noticed this. It's supposed to be set in Washington, right? Like outside of Seattle or around Seattle.
I had no idea. I was trying to figure it out, but I knew they did a lot of stuff in Canada. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's in Washington, and there is no attempt to conceal that all of the license plates are British Columbia. Like they didn't even bother.
I was gonna say Washington. I was like, I thought some of them were like California.
Oh yeah, no. It's definitely like around Seattle.
Okay.
But all of the license plates in the movie are from Canada.
It does. That's where they filmed it. It does have a Seattle vibe. Okay, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. So here's where things get interesting. I found this interview with Michael Keaton and one of the producers, Paul Brooks.
Yep.
They did promoting the movie back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think things have changed since then for them. Maybe we'll get there. So what? I've got a few choice quotes here. I've got a few key themes. One of my favorite early quotes in the interview is Paul Brooks is quoting Keaton on when he approached him about doing the movie in the first place.
Yep.
And Michael Keaton says to him, "Finally, after all the shit scripts you've been handing me, I get this one. Maybe I'll do it."
Love it. That's awesome.
First of all, he thinks it's a good movie.
Right.
And second of all, maybe I'll do it.
Hold on. Or he's gotten some really shit scripts.
True. Is this the best that he's gotten? Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way on that one.
Yeah, which I could also see. And then the maybe I'll do it is a great cat.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah. And the fact that he's saying this in a promo interview for the movie is also like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Remember that time you told me maybe you'd do it? You did it. Ha ha.
Got you, sucker.
Yeah. So then Paul Brooks is like, yeah, first of all, Paul Brooks, fuck you. If you want to be on the podcast, let us know.
Yeah.
You know how to get in touch with us.
Come on, do it.
Paul Brooks is like weirdly super hot on EVP.
Hey,
Yeah. Which, unlike the movie, I don't think we explained to the listeners what EVP is in this episode. We did in Trailer Trash briefly.
A little bit. Yeah.
And you know what? We won't.
Yeah.
So anyway, Paul Brooks, super hot on EVP. And
as one is.
in 2005, he's like convinced that EVP is the new, like, is going to change the way we see reality.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So this is a direct quote from Paul Brooks.
Sell me, Paul. Sell me.
The thing that's interesting about this movie is that it's based on something which is actually happening. It's almost like it's been under the carpet for 20 years. And now suddenly people are lifting the carpet and saying, what is this?
Is under the carpet, is that a thing it wouldn't be like under the radar or like under the rug?
Yeah. You could say it's
under the rug.
Oh,
that's right.
Rug.
Yeah, but not
That's
under the carpet because the carpet's pinned down. Like you don't
usually
you don't pull the carpet up.
Or
staples
nails,
or
right.
Yeah, right. So
I'm
trying to go into the validity of someone's comments based on the analogies they use. That's all.
Yeah, no, he's just like so hot on EVP. And then immediately Michael Keaton goes, all right, what are we talking about? Like just like trying to get it started.
This is great. This is good.
So this is when I don't think I talked about it enough in Trailer Trash, how much I used to like Michael Keaton. After reading this interview.
Wow, really?
I don't know anymore, dude. I think he's crazy. So
I mean,
like, what do you think about Michael Keaton? What do you know about Michael Keaton?
I mean, I know all the movies he's in. Mr. Mom, Batman, you know, Birdman movie, this movie. He's Michael Keaton. Yep. I don't want to ruin that. I
know, but I'm sorry. I'm going to.
He did it. I'm
not sorry.
Yeah, no. This isn't your fault, but you are gonna be the messenger to ruin it for me. So it is your fault in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
I was thinking today when I was looking at photos of him, I was like, man, he could play a Lars. He could play a Lars Ulrich if they were ever to do a Metallica.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
he could.
He does look like.
Oh,
yeah, right.
I think that's not a compliment to Lars Ulrich.
Really? Oh man,
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Jesus.
Anyways,
yeah,
this is going to be one of the longest episodes of all time, listeners. So, apologies in advance. So, a quote from Michael Keaton on picking roles. Well, it's whatever comes along at the time that makes me feel like I want to do it. Most of the time, that's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
guy doesn't want to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore, as some people I know.
But this could also mean, did you read this or did you watch this interview? Because I think maybe there's some context maybe being taken out there. I don't know.
Well, all right. So to be fair, I did read it, but this is on like a weird fan blog kind of thing where there were like cue notes that said what was going on in between things. Like once, like in parentheses, once we all stopped laughing. So like, I think this is exactly as weird as it was. Consider the next exchange.
Okay.
This one, I don't think you need to really watch on video. You can read it. I don't think there's a way this could be funny on video.
Okay.
So Michael Keaton says, this was a genre in which I've never been involved. Never end a sentence with a preposition. Oh. Interviewer says, which he didn't.
Yeah.
Involved is not a preposition, and preposition is not a preposition. So interviewer says, I'll allow it this time. Keaton says, and don't reach in front of your brother to get some butter. Interviewer says, what? Appropriately? Keaton says, nah, I used to say that. Unless your brother is blind and he can't see, then reach in front of him anyway.
Yeah.
The fuck?
What's wrong with all that?
What is this exchange? What does this mean? I don't understand.
Well, I think, hold on, if you break apart, like this was a genre in which I'd never been involved, right?
Right. Okay.
And then he says, never end a sentence with a preposition, basically saying like,
right, which he didn't. But
no, but I don't think don't take it literally. I think he's just saying never end a, like. I think it's just
it's an expression, I'm sure.
Whatever. It's a Keatonism.
You're a Keaton apologist.
No, what's wrong with that? Like, I think he's just like, hey, you know what? It's never been a genre I've been ever involved in, but also never end a sentence with preposition. You never know. Something
that's so up top. That's that's not how you have a conversation with people.
I think,
how are you defending this?
Maybe he's just on another plane of sphere or something. And then the interviewer's like, okay, I'll allow it this time. I'm not even sure what that means.
Right. Yeah. Which totally fair.
Mean? Okay.
I don't know. I'm not on the interviewer's side either.
Either way, they're both terrible. And then Keaton's goes, and don't reach in front of your brother to get some butter. That is just polite. You don't reach in front of someone to get butter. You ask them for it, unless they're blind. And it's like, well, you can't see. Just go for it. So I don't see the problem with this. Next fast fact.
Yep, no, you're right. moving on. Okay, well, here's another Keaton quote for you. While you're apologizing for things he said.
Oh boy, I don't know about this one. Sorry, Keaton. I can only take you so far.
So, this is what Michael Keaton starts getting on a weird thing about religion.
Oh boy. Well, yeah. I mean, the movie would. I could see that. Okay.
Yeah, I could see that kind of.
Okay.
So he's talking about a bar in New York that was like in a church, which I don't know. I feel like me and you are a team. Cool. Repurposing buildings for other things is neat.
Yeah. Repurposing holy ground for alcohol. Absolutely. I'm in.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm pretty okay with that.
Repurposing holy ground for sins. Absolutely.
Yeah. Michael Keaton, not okay with that.
What?
So he goes, I just didn't like the fact that someone thought it was hip to take a place that was designed for faith and worship and then say, hey, let's go get a bunch of blow in the bathroom and act like we're cool and, practice trisexuality. Which
wait, what?
Whoa, Michael Keaton. I know it's 2005, but even the interviewer says, uh-oh. To which Keaton replies, it's a joke, but we're hip and decadent. Fuck that. It's bullshit. A church is designed for something specific. On the other hand, there's no logic to organized religion, or to me, none, zero. Once you become a member of the organized religion, you say all other religions are wrong. It's absolutely 100% impossible.
I mean, okay. All right.
He's not even saying sentences that make sense, Russ.
There's a lot to unpack there. So wait, hold on. What's the...
Uh-oh.
What was the context? Like, why?
There's no context. There's no context for any of this.
Why was this even brought up again? Like, because they were talking about some church that was turned into a bar in New York.
Yeah, well, no, because they were talking about like, well, do you is EVP a thing or not? And he's like, well, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Think about like religions, and I'm cool. Like, I'm in favor of everyone having their faith. It's not really for me, but like everyone can have God stuff, whatever. They're cool with that. He's like, but it pisses me off when people turn churches into bars.
Hey, everyone's got their thing, I guess. He could have just he should have just stopped once he said that and be like, all right, that's fine. If you're not into it, that's fine.
This is like the second question in the interview.
It sounds like just like a bad interview.
Yeah. Apologies, listener. This is the long fast facts, but it's not going to be that long. Like, this is the first one of the early questions, but we're going to skip all of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Then I love this one from Paul Brooks. Another great quote, like in a retrospect thing. We can laugh about it now because it's 2021. But when I said before, I think Paul Brooks is convinced that EVP is going to change the world. He says, what'll really be fascinating in a year from now is to see what the cultural impact of EVP is.
Ooh, a year, like 2006.
Yeah, 2006. I think it's possible we could see something extraordinary. BBC just did a huge, deeply researched documentary, and one of the most respected journalists in the country, whose name eludes me, has just written an extraordinary piece in The Guardian about how she contacted a dead relative through EVP. And this is not like some wacko living in a teepee in outer Mongolia. Wow. Not that there's anything wrong with having a teepee. What? What is this interview?
That's what happens when people talk too much, and then they're like, "Let me make I got a really good analogy in my head. Let me just say that," and they say it, and they're like, "That's not what I meant. I shouldn't have said that."
Yeah, and then this is when someone transcribes it and puts it on the internet for all of us to see 20 years later.
I mean, like our podcast, but whatever.
Yeah. We're not this cringe.
I don't think so. No, not this bad.
So then I'll paraphrase the next one.
Oh my God, this is good.
We'll gloss over all that.
All right, yeah.
Paraphrasing the next one here, Paul Brooks still super hot on EVP, talking about so they were doing some pre-marketing, I guess, and they had a room full of journalists, and apparently they had a few EVP experts on hand who asked if anyone wanted to try an experiment. So one of the producers on the show, who's like, according to Paul Brooks, a super cynical journalist, said, sure. They put a tape in, played the radio recorder to the white noise, and she said something about speaking to her Uncle Paul. Mm-hmm. They played the recording back, and a voice came through and said, Beck, it's Paul. So apparently, like, everyone flipped a shit, and she's like, "You've got to be kidding me." Keaton's super in on this. Mm-hmm. He jumps in then in the interview and says, like, "Yeah, Paul's the only one who called her Beck." Of course, it's true. Like, Keaton's in on it now.
Oh man.
He's just. I think the thing that worries me the most, like you said, I agree. Not everyone's always at their best on an interview in general.
Yeah, have your
There's
moments.
A lot of things you can take out of context, whatever. But like,
100%.
if you can't form a couple of coherent sentences, like someone should look into that. Like maybe someone should help you. I don't know, Michael Keaton. If you want to reach out, we're here to help you. I know it's been 16 years, but
come talk to us.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying that because my final Keaton quote on technological progress of humanity outpacing evolution, which, of course, this is the natural progression of an interview for white noise.
Absolutely. EVP outpacing evolution. Yeah, here we go.
So this is a direct quote from Michael Keaton. When people get into parallel universes and all that, there's theories that there's way more out there than we could ever comprehend or we can see or know. And it's right there in front of you, but your perception is only our perception. So when you start thinking about it like that, it's wide open. Now it's wide open. You see what I mean? Look what's around me, all these satellites. And that's where it ends. That's actually how he ends that thought. What the fuck, dude?
I don't know. Sure. I'm not that I'm buying into what he's saying, but hey,
what?
Man, whatever. What was there something wrong with what he said? I mean, he's talking about perception and whatever. That's a thing. Yeah, sure. Perceiving reality.
Your perception is our perception. Satellites. We all know you're a Michael Keaton apologist.
I just don't. I don't think it's lost it. This is 2005. That means
that's what I mean. I think he lost it 16 years ago. What's he doing now?
I think. I don't know, man.
I'm worried. I'm really worried.
So I don't know.
Ray Kroc. That's what the name of
Ray Kroc. Yes.
Well, and because I imagine Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, where he's like, he can talk and say a coherent sentence. Now I realize those coherent sentences have been written for him by someone else. And maybe this is how Michael Keaton actually is.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe it.
I don't know. I don't want to ruin my vision of Keaton here, but
I'm sorry.
All of a sudden, all I can picture is and Lars Ulrich saying these lines.
Look what's around me, all these satellites.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're all around all of us. That's fine. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, well, then it gets crazier from there. Like he ends it at all these satellites, and then he goes on, like something else happens in between, and then he talks about how satellites are like what's tracking celebrities, and how like you have to, if you're a celebrity, you have to like decode your phone so that way satellites can't track. It gets crazier from there.
I mean,
it's real, but
he's not wrong, but it's a classic actor ego there. Yes. It's like, yeah, dude, it's not just tracking you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's GPS. It's called GPS.
And then I think we can cap off the fast facts with Michael Keaton apparently on the DVD commentary for this movie. Michael Keaton talks about phoning in some of the scenes and apologizes to the director.
Sounds about right.
That's pretty fucked up. How many director's cut things have you watched where it's like, on the commentary, like, yeah, not my best work.
I mean, it's probably not the best. I mean, I guess if there's any moment to recognize, he's like, yeah, you know what? I didn't do my best here.
Unbelievable.
So that's a weighty fast facts.
Yeah, fuck this movie.
Every once in a while we do the interview facts, and sometimes this is where you get. I
need a beer.
Yeah, me too.
Leave that in.
All right. Well, so that's our fast facts. Let's get into this, right? This is it.
Yep.
Spoilers. Whatever. I don't think we've had to say.
I already started that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's just get into this, right? So
Universal again, right? From the trailer, as expected. Love to see it.
Love to see it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. The music, like that Universal music, like the
100. And the letters are coming around the globe and come to set on the front. It's just
gets me in the mood for a movie.
It does. It really does. It's like it's fucking movie time.
Mm-hmm. Now, Gold Circle, on the other hand,
not
familiar. Did not look up Gold Circle online to see if they actually had it.
Yeah, we didn't do any homework on Gold Circle. We should have.
Yeah, well, but next time.
So then it goes immediately to a title card, or just title card, right?
Yep.
And it's words, so we have to read, and it's a couple in a row.
It's a few in a row, yeah.
Yeah, it's a few in a row. So I'll read through it, right? So,
please.
Starts with black screen, white letters. Nobody knows whether our personalities pass on to another existence or sphere, but ... That dissolves out. We get another one. If we can evolve an instrument so delicate as to be manipulated by our personality as it survives in the next life, we dissolve out ... Next one.
Ellipsis.
Ellipsis. Such an instrument ought to record something. Quoted by the famous light man himself, Thomas Edison, 1928.
Never heard of him.
I'm gonna throw this out there. This seems like the shittiest quote to ever pull.
It seems like something Michael Keaton would say.
It sounds like something.
Such an instrument ought to record something. Satellites.
I can guarantee you and I probably said this to each other one drunken night somewhere, and we're like, "That's a pretty great idea," and then totally forgot about it because it makes sense, but it doesn't to me.
Definitely.
And at first, it was like, what a moron said this? And they're like, Thomas Edison. I'm like, all right, they can't all be winners, but like,
I get it, Tommy. You want to listen to ghosts? Sure.
Sure. But
forget about it.
Is this really the quote you're going to open up your movie with?
Yep.
Okay. So we get that. And then we get a quick shot of a VHS player and some like audio equipment, audio reel, right?
Yeah, and then it's like staticky, super staticky.
Oh, this is pretty annoying. This whole opening credits thing. It's like they're doing like their overplay of like the static white noise kind of like cutting in here and there.
Yep.
Between every single like credit name that popped up, it was like static. Next credit name.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to another title card.
Yep. Courtesy of Webster's.
And we get the definition of EVP.
So frustrating.
I was like, this is so much reading. Why am I reading this much to start this movie out? Like,
yeah,
this
the
is
recording
stupid.
of voices and images of the dead using detuned receiving apparatus identified in 1939 and now the subject of increasing scientific research worldwide to finally evidence communication with the deceased. What?
Great. You're like explaining the plot, the kind of like, or
cool. And then you get like while there's static going on, she's like, "Ooh, this is spooky."
So yeah, so we get the definition of EVP, which they gave us in the trailer, and then I don't know why they're doing it right now, like because they do it again
because there's more credits.
Yeah, but it's pretty much exposition.
Stretch it out.
Yeah, stretching it all out. But I was like, this is too much reading. Great. Okay, cool. And then there's a bunch of other production and distribution companies that just kind of pop up. White Noise UK, Endgame Entertainment. There's one I didn't catch in there. Bright Light.
White Noise UK is a shell company if I ever heard one.
Like, yeah, definitely.
Let's just name the company after the movie. Yeah. That'll fly. And no idea what Endgame is.
Still a bunch of like jumpy white noise static cuts between each credit they're showing, and then it's just like,
well, and we get our leading man credit, Michael Keaton, because he is the one and only in this movie.
I mean, give credit where credit's due, and come on, man.
Before the title card of the movie, you get Michael Keaton because that's what this is.
It should just be called Keaton.
Do I hate Michael Keaton now? Fuck.
Oh, stop it. Stop that. You don't hate Michael Keaton. Come on.
You're right. So in between Michael Keaton, we get in the title card, we get a nice jump scare ghost shadow thing, right?
Yep.
In the static, as always. And then title card, White Noise. And then we get the rest, Deborah, Sean, et cetera.
Yeah, et cetera. And everyone else.
Doesn't matter.
So we get to the credits and I don't know. They're a thing. And then we get a shot of a really nice house, and it kind of jumps up to a close shot of like a boombox stereo, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Lots of fancy mansions. Plenty more static transitions like we hate.
Yeah.
There's a boombox with some there's a radio broadcast, like you're switching between the channels on the boombox, right?
Yep.
And it's Michael Keaton having breakfast with his son, Michael, because of course his name is Michael.
Of course. It doesn't matter, but yeah, that's his name. So yeah, typical family morning. We meet the family. So we got Keaton, we got the kid, we got wife comes down, Chandra West, Anna Rivers, right?
Yep. Michael Keaton, Jonathan Rivers, in case we switch to Jonathan Rivers at some point.
Jonathan Rivers, Anna Rivers, and Michael Rivers.
Yep.
Okay. That's the family.
Yeah. And Michael Keaton's Mr. Mom type of dad, it seems like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's taking care of things. So this is the beginning of the milk conversation in this. So
go on.
It's breakfast time. You know me, I love paying attention to things in the background.
True.
Did you notice the number of breakfast items that were out on the table?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
There was like multiple boxes of cereal, and there was orange juice, and then there was like, oh, cool, soy milk. Great. Then mom comes down, she opens up the refrigerator, and she pulls out just regular old, milk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we have two different milks kind of competing for each other out there. Soy milk, sorry.
Been there.
You lose. But the milk thing comes back later. That's why I was like, thought this was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, luckily no one drank out of the carton. That would really turn this around.
Yeah. So we have a family moment, and then Keaton, I'm just going to call him Keaton. He goes upstairs with wife Anna, and they're kind of getting ready for the day. And
He's like, whoa, want to get busy? And she's like, nah, we're late.
Yeah. No, we're late, doctor.
Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
Because she's pregnant.
Oh. Okay, deep cut. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nah, we're late.
Anyways, so we find out that wife is pregnant.
Right.
Everyone's excited.
He asks her, "Are you okay?" And she says, "I might be more than okay," which I think is a weird way to say you're pregnant. Like, I'm more than okay. What does that mean?
What?
Like, from the get-go, this movie sucks. Like, bad script. Like, bad job.
And it definitely still has this vibe of like straight to TV movie, right? It's got a TV movie vibe to it. So it's like
very Lifetime-y, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes you out of everything. So it doesn't feel...
Michael Keaton's stoked about it. He's like,
fired up.
Like a Lifetime dad might be. He's pumped about the baby.
Yep.
She gets in her fancy new convertible outside. Like, they're starting to leave for the day. They put the boy in the back. Michael Keaton has a weird line where he says, "You take it easy." It's like, he makes a really creepy face that I don't know if it disturbed you, but
no, but it definitely was like, this is definitely the last time he says goodbye to them.
Right. And that's why I was like, this is definitely the last time you say goodbye to them. Why would you make it so weird?
Yeah. Why would you make it so weird?
What a weird send-off.
Just make it normal. Just make it normal. Goodbye.
Satellite.
Yeah, it's always a satellite.
Also, she looks like she's 20 years younger than him, right?
Yeah, that's because she is.
Like, okay, good. Okay. Thais was telling, she was like, I think she's 30 years younger than him. And I was like, maybe 20. But yes, very much. Then we get like our cityscape flyover, right?
Which I was like, this is definitely not a U.S. city. I was like, this looks like Vancouver or Toronto.
I was thinking Seattle, maybe like somewhere in Washington. I mean, I know it's in Washington because they said that at some point, but
yeah.
So then, like, Michael Keaton rolls up to the office, walking in, smiling, and people are taking notice because apparently he's usually a real Grumpelstiltskin. Like, I don't know.
And I didn't catch
that.
Oh,
you're happy.
Yeah. You didn't get that? No, I mean, I got that they were all calling out that he was fired up, but I didn't realize that he was like Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, like that. I think that's assumed on my part because people are noticing how happy he is in particular.
Oh, okay.
Maybe all the time he's a real piece of shit. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Hey, people who believe in satellites, that's what happens.
Classic Michael Keaton believing in satellites. Those aren't real. Idiot.
Dumb. And then this is when we get our first big product placement here. It's going to be running throughout the entire movie. Hey, if you want to sponsor us too, but he's a big Sony. How do you pronounce this, by the way? I never know how to pronounce this. So the laptop,
I believe it's pronounced Shoney's. Not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor yet. So you don't get your proper name said, but how do you pronounce so he had the laptop on his desk and was like clearly just right in the corner. It was like perfectly framed and it's a Sony. How do you say that? How do you say that word? Do you see it?
Vaio. I believe it's Vaio.
It is Vaio.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Vaio.
Okay. We don't need to linger on it, but I was like, that's how I always said it too.
Yeah. Sony Vaio. What a laptop, really got all of the, I don't think they sell those anymore.
No, they definitely don't.
Yeah, go to eBay, buy a used Sony Vaio. What a reliable piece of shit.
Yeah, get a Sony Vaio. Talk to the dead. Anyways.
Yeah, apparently you need outdated equipment to talk to the dead, as we'll get into.
So he's at work. It doesn't really matter much. No one here that you're introduced to they don't matter later on at all. Right? So
correct. Well, he does get his secretary, seemingly. We never really get introduced to her, but presumably that's his secretary. It's Michael Keaton. I feel like it's like in his contract somewhere that like whatever role he's playing, he has to have a secretary.
Yeah, I mean,
Bruce Wayne. He's from the 80s. Yeah.
Got Alfred.
Right. Exactly. And she's like, "Oh yeah, order flowers and champagne." No. I forgot. My wife's pregnant. That's what I'm ordering flowers for. Chocolate. Yeah. Get chocolate instead.
But he doesn't say that though.
Yeah, right. It's implied.
Yes. And she's like, something's going on.
Something's going on.
And then that's it. It's like, okay, whatever. Go away.
Yeah.
No one matters. So he's an architect. I don't think that actually matters at all either. But he's an architect.
Well, it'll matter in a second when we see him drawing. For 5 minutes.
He's drawing. I'm drawing pictures of buildings. Yeah. All right.
Look,
so
I'm a job.
I'm a job. I'm working. And it explains why he's got this sweet house in the water. Right. Of course.
Which that house is
Come on.
Something special, right?
Yeah, right. The thing is dope
It's like a $10 million house.
Easy peasy these days.
Well, in 2021 money, yeah.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah. If you're listening to this in the past or the future, in 2021, inflation went crazy.
Just by then. So then he heads home, and we're back at the Keaton home, the beautiful house, nighttime, and he checks his voicemail on an old voice.
Well, first he calls his wife. Before then, he called on his way home. He's calling his wife. She doesn't answer.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
The first part of the mystery, right?
Yeah.
And then he walks in his front door, and he's like, "Wife."
He's got the flowers and the chocolates, right?
Right. He's like, "Oh yeah, I guess you must not home." Then he checks the answering machine. And,
right.
Where his wife leaves a message, talks about getting a drink with a coworker, but just kidding, I'm not drinking, I promise. Which is also weird.
That means she's drinking and driving her VW Bug.
Well, and pregnant, right?
And pregnant, yeah.
And then the message kind of cuts off.
Yeah, that too.
And Michael Keaton doesn't think anything about it. He's like, "Oh, whatever. I'll just turn on this boombox and listen to the static for a bit."
Taking a step back, so in the beginning of the movie, when we first meet the wife and she's leaving the house, she's bringing the kid to school, right?
I think
so. Okay, all right.
Probably, because I was wondering. My first thought is, "Where's the kid?"
I was like, oh, maybe they both die.
I thought the kid died too. Yeah,
I did too. Because really, maybe. the kid could have died. Well, no, not really.
The kid dead? Is Michael Keaton interacting with a ghost? He's interacting with several ghosts.
Yeah, I don't know, because the kid could have died and it wouldn't have mattered. But I guess until the very, very end, it mattered.
Yeah.
But did
you can call that mattered, sure.
Anyways, so mom,
if you mean the kid has a part at the end, briefly, sure.
Yeah, to allude to a sequel that might happen. Okay, which does happen.
Right.
All right. So mom's out having quote unquote non-drinks because she's pregnant.
A lot of focus on the clock.
Keaton's home. He's, working, having a couple glasses of wine, a lot of clock.
We're looking at the clock. Yeah,
6:20. Then it's
always 6:20.
Always 6:20. And then she left a message. As part of her message, though, didn't she leave a message talking about hey, my cover art for my book is on the thing, whatever. And she's got this big board and the name of the title of the book is The Eternal Wait.
Nice. Good writing.
Love it. So he's basically just home, and it was this is one of I would call this a montage because there's multiple ones of these montagey moments where he's just sitting and time passing and
which the first half hour of time passing, the clock still says 6:20. I don't know if you caught that, but it was 6:20 when he got there, and then it was he did a bunch of stuff, and then he was looked at the clock and it's 6:20 again. You're wait, what?
What?
But then the next thing you know, it's midnight, and he's leaving another voicemail for his wife, saying "Hey, where are you at? We'd love to hear from you." And then a little bit later, we get Michael Keaton again, leaving another message, but this time for Julie, the person his wife's with. And he's sounding a little bit angry, "Oh yeah, well, figured you'd be home by now."
Yeah, WTF? Shoot me a call.
Do you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then before you know it, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Now, at what point would you have called the cops?
The next day.
Well, guess I'm going to bed.
I don't know. Yeah, adults sometimes go out, do stuff.
Yeah.
You never know.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have went to sleep. I probably would have stayed up until said person came home.
Just would have gone to bed and hoped for the best the next morning. Been damn.
No, I think I don't think I would have. I don't.
You wouldn't have gone to bed.
I would have stayed up all night and been I wonder when they're coming home.
So then he looks at the clock and he realizes it's broken, and he goes to fix the clock.
Right.
And
at 2:30.
We get our first jump scare from the boombox, and it just turns on. There's a bunch of static.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind
Awesome.
of whatever. Yeah, great. Okay. And then next day morning, he's waking up and we get a bunch of like, I think this is kind of almost montage again, right? Where there's a bunch of news talking about his wife gone missing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can skip a lot of this movie just by being like, oh, and it's another thing where we watch Michael Keaton watch staticky things. That's
yeah. There's a lot of that. So,
but at this point, it's still kind of like doing the same thing where it's like news reports, a lot of news reports.
Yeah, so a lot of news reports. So now the wife has gone missing. Now, and then this actually bleeds into a montage. But so news reports, wife is missing, and then there's a woman that shows up, right? And is this his ex-wife?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. It was okay.
The kid's mom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so his son's mother is a different woman. She's there, and I was like, at first, I was like, is this a friend? Is this going to be like one of those weird kind of Skinamax moments?
Before that,
yeah.
I just wanted to call out in the news coverage of the shenanigans here.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying supposedly she slipped in a river. Like they don't know what's going on. They're like, it seems like she slipped in the river. And did you notice they said like, oh, and then she like went upstream, which means against the current. We found her because they talk about it later how they found her 8 miles upstream, and you're like, wait, what?
I didn't catch that. Huh?
I don't know, weird, but and then they talk about the book, like it's news, especially because she's famous
author. Yeah. I mean, what a great way to sell a book, huh?
All right, but right. So then anyway, then we're back at the mansion with the ex-wife. Really putting herself out for Michael, and he's like, Michael Keaton, I mean,
not.
And he's like, no, don't. And she's like, well, I'm going to anyway.
Yeah. It's like, all right, come on. It's kind of a nice. It's a really handy way to just get rid of the kids. You don't have to worry about them in scenes and what's going on, right? So.
True. Yeah, it's a good point.
So ex-wife shows up and he's like, hey, take the boy, whatever. And it's fine because it's like, okay, it's not like he's with some random person. He's with his mother. So it's like,
right.
This is a way to not have to worry about where the kid is.
Yeah. One of the parents isn't neglecting him. Great.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's been 10 days since, famous author disappeared. We get more news reports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our architect husband, Jonathan, is like, keeping up the search, trying to find what's her face. 3 weeks, and then it's like 3 weeks since disappearance. Maybe there's an abductor or someone that like call the police if you know of the whereabouts. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, don't they say after like 48 hours probably dead? Isn't that the whole?
Definitely. Yeah, like 3 weeks. No way.
I've watched enough Law and Order to know after 48 hours.
Right. And then Michael Keaton talks about how like, oh well, I'm never giving up. Whatever, you can't give up hope.
Then we go into like a montage of Keaton dealing with the death, his missing wife. He's at work, he's at home, he's driving, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. Well, whatever, it kind of matters, but it doesn't matter. But
stares at a guy in the driveway.
Yeah, and then he spots a shitty Range Rover sitting outside his home. Then he drives to work. He's at work doing work stuff, as one does, architecting. Yeah. He's like,
sure.
Give me these files and design this thing.
Buildings.
Buildings. This is a 1/4 inch off.
You're a building.
And then he spots the guy who is outside of his home, now outside of his work.
Right. Ian McNeice, right?
McNeice?
Ian McNeice. Piece of shit, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't tell you I was going to call him that, but
I didn't know. I wasn't ready for that one. So he spots him sitting outside on the bench, kind of all sad looking. And then Keaton's like, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go talk to this motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he confronts,
walking through the office, like just runs out across the street to confront him, right?
Yeah, gets out there. He confronts him, and this was like
my goodness.
Yeah. It's like, oh, proper English. Okay. And then he's like, hey, you were outside my house, blah, 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 and whatever. And they're going at it. And then there was like, I don't know if you caught this, but it was like this really intense 360 like camera thing. Like they were like the cameras going around. It was annoying. It was like very Michael Bay, Christopher Nolan, but not.
Yep. But
Michael
before
Bay
their time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure Mike Bay and Chris Nolan watched this movie like, yeah, that's
like,
it.
Oh, let's do that.
That's
this movie rips.
Yeah,
it's got Michael Keaton.
Yeah, this will make audiences sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Batman again.
3 years from now, 4 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And then so basically the dude's just like, yeah, man, I know your wife is dead, or
my name is Raymond Price.
My name is Michael Keaton. My name is Raymond Price. I thought we weren't going to do it, but we did it.
Nope, too late. Yeah.
We're in.
From Ace Ventura, yeah.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, from Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
Raymond Price.
Raymond Price. And then he's just like, yeah, I know your wife is dead, but by the way, hey, I've communicated with my dead son.
Yeah,
you can too. And now I'm like, well, why would this guy just... Because he saw him in the news, right? But it's just like,
right,
dude, how many people die a day, like every single day? Like, why?
A gazillion, yeah.
Like, what? Why? What? Okay, sure. I'm suspending all of the beliefs. And then
he gives him his business card.
Yeah, it just says Raymond Price on it.
And he's like, whatever you do, like, don't throw it away. My thoughts are with you and her.
And with you both. Just don't throw it away. Whatever you do.
Yeah, it's very threatening and ominous. And you're like, oh, well, I guess if I were Michael Keaton, I would immediately throw this away.
Yeah, I'd rip up in his face. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah. You crazy. Get out of here.
Get out of here, crazy. It's probably not even your real accent.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways. And then Keaton's back home. And he's watching
home movies.
Yep, watching home videos as one does to remember the past.
Which the whole movie so far is like doing a ton of cheesy, like sad piano Lifetime music.
Yeah. It's just
I hate it.
Yeah, none of it's not really pulling me in. It just feels like it's just happening and it feels very cardboard.
Yeah, and it like shows his fancy dark mansion and him just like sitting there all by himself watching home movies.
Brooding and being like,
oh, I feel so bad for the rich people, man.
Yeah. It's been a month, dude. So then
your dead wife, man.
Yeah. Look at your sweet house, man. Yeah. Then there's a knock.
Jesus Christ.
There's a knock at the door.
2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m.
In case you didn't notice.
Oh, I noticed. 2:30 a.m. Knock at the door. It's the cops confirming that his wife is dead.
Finally.
And then there's
more sad piano.
Yeah, more sad piano. And then we get news headlines next morning filling in how the wife died. And at this point, I was kind of like, oh, I hope this turns into like a frequency type thing where it's a whodunit and she's going to communicate with him.
That would be awesome.
To help him figure out who killed her, right?
Yeah, this movie could have been cool.
Although that would literally just be exactly what Frequency was, but
I'd watch that. Yeah.
I mean, Frequency, they're both alive. It's just a time travel thing, and where this is like a
like a cross dead people thing. Yeah.
Right? Or something like that. It's not. And then there's a funeral for mom.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cuts of Michael Keaton just looking sad and serious, like around the house, around wherever, and then it cuts to the funeral, and then it's like, well, and 6 months later, which
all right.
Okay, sure, just enough time for Michael Keaton to stop believing in reality.
Yep.
Come to find out.
Yep. So then 6 months later, and we've got Keaton and Son. Keaton and Sons. Keaton and Sons. It's either sounds like a band, like an indie band name, or like a.
Oh yeah, not a good one.
No, or like a moving company. Keaton and Sons. Come on down.
Oh yeah, that's kind of nice.
We'll move your house. Anyway, so
definitely a moving company.
Yeah, moving company, right? So Keaton and Sons, they moved into a new sick ass apartment.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
They scaled down from the mansion to like a really cool looking apartment in probably, Seattle, downtown Seattle or something.
Right. And then we talked about it in the trailer trash, kitchen TVs.
Yeah.
The little boy is like tuning the kitchen TV with the antenna. It's 2005, right? Mm-hmm. Like in 2005, we had real small real TVs you could put like LED TVs you could put in your in your kitchen if you wanted to, or maybe not LED but LCD.
No,
like,
yeah.
Lots of stuff. Like probably not these anymore. Especially for given how wealthy Michael Keaton is being portrayed as.
He could get a fancy TV.
Like that's one of the things that drives me nuts later on in the movie too, is like the anachronism of all of the technology they're using is not from 2005. Like it seems like the movie should be set in like the early 90s, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind
of like 1992. The whole
movie. But it is a borderline because like 2005. I mean, DVDs were a huge thing, right? But like VHS wasn't gone. Like VHS wasn't totally eradicated. But then it was like literally like 2 years later,
mostly VHS, gone. Yeah,
VHS just disappeared and was like, well, we don't need this anymore. But I think it was like, the whole point was that the VHS it captures.
Cassette tapes were, I feel like, long gone at that point in terms of like. Functional usage. Like, of course, you could buy cassette tapes, but like everyone's on CDs now, and they used a lot of cassette tapes too. Which like I don't. Everything in this movie just makes me mad.
I don't know. Did they explain that though? Did they explain like the lo-fi capabilities? Because you can't just record onto. You know what I mean? You can't do what they were doing directly to like a CD or like that. Like
why?
Can't. Jared, don't make me explain it to you.
Well, you can have your shitty.
You know why?
Well, you can have your shitty TV, and then you record it on something digital. Also, it's 2005 for Christ's sake. It's not like.
Yeah, but you can't just. But you have to like burn to a disc. You can't like the tape. You record directly to, and you can play it back. That's what's nice about it. You can't just like do that to a CD. You can't just be like.
You could if you were fucking Raymond Price over there with his like he's got state of the art or should have state of the art whatever. I don't know. So. We cut back home. Michael Keaton crying on the bed again. More sad piano. And then we get another fade to black. Like there's a lot of like little montages of Michael Keaton crying in this movie.
A lot. Yeah. It's very Hallmark special there.
Yeah. And then like now he's at work and he's getting in an elevator with some rando guy who thinks that Michael Keaton like did this elevator scenario on purpose.
Yeah, because the elevator they're riding up the elevator, and it's like Keaton's obviously the architect, and then we have the guy who's the client or
finance
whatever,
right? guy, business
client,
guy.
Right? Yeah, because he's like, oh, you're gonna tell me you're over budget, and the elevator just shuts down, no power, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, Keaton's phone starts ringing
at 4:12 p.m.
Interesting.
Not 2:30.
Not 2:30. Not to be confused with 6:20 or midnight. And it's from Anna's cell phone. Allegedly. So he's like, well, what? This is crazy.
Obviously, he doesn't answer. Why wouldn't you answer? Like, he just looks at it and he's like, oh, what?
Yeah, I'd immediately just be like, hello?
Yeah.
And then power comes back on. They get back down the bottom floor, and then there's. I hate this so much. This is the departed moment of the movie. They get down to the bottom of the elevator, right? They get to the bottom floor, and the door opens up, and there's like a random guy just standing there, and he's just. Are
you okay?
Yeah, he's got his one throwaway line. He's just like, "You guys okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're fine." And they like just hold on this guy for like a little bit longer than they should, and it's like, no. I thought it, and I was like, no, they're not.
That would be stupid.
That would be really stupid that this guy's involved because he's not in the movie ever again.
Nope.
Kind of like the guy in Departed who he was like down in the no.
Matt Damon?
No. The random guy. Fucking
Leo? Yeah.
No, the other random guy.
Jack Nicholson?
No, the other random guy.
Fresh out.
So the random guy, and he definitely whatever. He comes back later, and it made me want to punch pillows in my living room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Michael Keaton finally gets home. They just stop doing that scene. They're like, oh well, Michael Keaton's home now.
Yeah, they just cut him. Well, so then it's nighttime, and he's just rushing into his house. Right.
As if storming up the stairs. Well, because of his wife's cell phone.
Well, yeah, but he was at work during the day, and all of a sudden just cut to nighttime, and he's running. Now he's rushing like.
Well, now it's important again.
Right. Now it's important.
Yeah. Now we can make it raining again. Finally.
Dude, you designed the building. You can fucking leave for the afternoon. By the way, your wife died. You can leave.
Yeah, I think so. And then he goes home, digs his wife's cell phone out from a weird plastic bag that he has in the drawer next to his bed, what is this setup? Like, why would you, I don't know. I get maybe the idea of like keeping your dead wife's cell phone around, but like in the nightstand next to your bed in a plastic bag, it just doesn't add up to me.
I don't know either. I don't know, man.
No dead wife expert, but
me neither.
Listeners, email us if you have a dead wife.
No,
we're not doing that.
Okay, no.
Canceled again.
So he runs up. He checks the phone. It wasn't turned on, obviously.
Right.
But then, boom, the phone rings again. His phone rings.
Ring and ding ding.
It rings right off his cell phone holder on his belt.
Mm-hmm. Very 2005.
So 2005. And he answers, or he doesn't answer, but he does. But
he does answer, and there's static. But
he picks up, and it says it's coming from Anna's cell phone again.
Right.
Anna's cell.
It's coming from inside the house.
And then he answers, and there's some white noise, and then it just hangs up.
Yep. Which half the movie so far is reflections of Michael Keaton in a dark window looking sad in the rain.
Yes.
And we continue that trend now.
Yep.
And then a light bulb goes out. You're like, what?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Me neither.
Okay.
They'll like zoom in on a light bulb and it goes out. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I saw that. I think it was just to show that time had passed again, and
art.
He was going, and
it's art.
Art. What were you thinking with this shot in particular? Art. Oh,
it's not a movie; it's a film.
Well, I think that was to show, Jared. That was to show that time had passed, and it was now nighttime, and he was going to sleep.
Oh, I thought it was like the light bulb of his faith going out when he realized that his wife was truly dead. Oh,
wow. That's pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm. Although we know how Michael Keaton feels about faith. So,
yeah, hey.
To each their own.
Yeah. Keep it a church. That's his thoughts, which, hey, that's fine. That's fine.
You're a church too.
So he's asleep, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night to
Jonathan,
an answering machine.
Jonathan,
just being obnoxious.
Jonathan,
and he goes down. You're creeping me out. And then he goes down and he checks the answering machine, and does that, and then he listens, and it deletes and disappears, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which like what? Like I don't understand. Like what? Like. I mean, I'm no stranger to 2005, and I've had answering machines. Never had one that just deletes the message after you play it.
I think it's, I think that's the thing. That's the supernatural aspect of this situation here.
Oh, yeah. You're saying it's a natural deletion.
It's a natural deletion. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Got it. So then Michael Keaton shows up at Weird Raymond's house. And Raymond answers the door and says, I was hoping you would come. It's a weird thing to say to someone when they show up at your house.
Not even like a hello. He's just like, I was hoping you would come. Yeah. Jesus. All right, man. Relax.
Some Keatons just want to watch the web, man.
Well, I think it's unnatural when. Don't finish that, Raymond.
Aren't you Batman?
Aren't you Batman? That's funny. Anyways.
So, introduces the blonde lady, Sarah, who is
Deborah
Chandra
Unger.
West. Nope. Deborah Unger.
Yeah.
Nope, Chandra West is his wife.
It was his wife. Right, Deborah Unger is Sarah. She just happens to be blonde lady at Raymond Price's house. Come on down to Raymond Price.
Come on down. Let me make you a beverage.
To the Raymond Price is right. And she crying.
Goes off to make them a beverage, right?
Well, it's really a weird situation. So she's there, she's crying, and Raymond's just kind of like, "Oh, it's no big deal."
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about her.
She cries all the time.
All the time, sobbing.
If I had a nickel.
And then I also thought it was fitting to like, anyway, so she just goes off and makes them tea.
Right.
So clearly Sarah here and Raymond, she's been coming to see Raymond for, a bit, blah, blah, blah. And Raymond's he's our guy. He's our expert on EVP,
Right. So this is when we get
extraterrestrials versus predator. He's our he's our expert.
ET versus Predator.
ET versus Predator.
I'd watch that.
Right.
Alien Gonzalez versus Predator. I would also watch that. Thinking of things that start with E.
We'll get there. We'll keep going.
Evian versus Predator. Not a sponsor.
Does that start with an A?
E.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Evian, yeah.
I thought it was Avion.
Nope.
Okay.
You are wrong.
Maybe they're wrong. Maybe they should pick better vowels.
Bet you thought Fuji started with a G.
It doesn't.
No. Starts with Foo.
Yeah. All right. So Ray Price here, Raymond Price. He's our EVP expert. And then he basically just sits down Keaton here and pretty much just tells him what an EVP is, which we already know because we watched the first minute of the movie.
Brit explains it to him again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the EVP. Of course not. We get called cranks and weirdos. I'm switching accents around.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay. It's fine. He definitely Brit-splains it. So he Brit-splains it to Keaton.
So sorry to our British listeners.
No, wrong. And so... And then he goes on to explain how he can hear and see and record people from through his fancy, sweet ass VHS tape player machine.
Which, while he's talking, he sounds like he's dying, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of worried about Ian McNeice here, right?
A little bit.
Like, his health seems like it's questionable. He's
also
wheezing a lot.
Well, I'm also a little concerned that like he just told this woman who's come to him to basically get the same closure that Keaton's getting, right?
Right.
He basically just like, hey, go make us some tea. Dude, it's your house.
Well,
come on.
She's been there before. You know what I mean?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not buying it. Okay, so then she's making tea still because it takes a while to boil water there. And Raymond Price and Keaton, they just decide to watch a few minutes of static TV.
Which, like, why does technology look like this in 2005? Again, I'm not convinced that this is not anywhere close to like current television technology, right?
No, but I mean, 2005 was kind of a borderline. I mean, I don't know. Like, you're still using. I remember in early 2000s using like the black boxes to scramble channels and stuff like that.
But you had like an LCD TV or something. Like you had they weren't the big boxes that they used to be at that point.
No, but I mean, but still, I think it was a carryover. It was like a weird time, man. Because like,
what is this, Canada?
I think it was a weird time. It was like a change in technology. It was like it flipped over the next couple of years. Like I think it was like a real turning point of TV technology and electronics. I'm going to throw it out there because like I think I still had a flip phone then, definitely, right? Like, and you still
for sure, yeah.
Like TV wise,
well, smartphones didn't exist till like, I mean, iPhone came out 2007,
which we've talked about before. But I think in terms of TV technology, yeah, then I don't remember having some fancy.
Not something fancy, but like you didn't have like the, these are like tube TVs that this guy has in in his workshop here.
But I think that's what you need to talk to the dead. You can't just have a flat screen TV. Like I can't just go in my living room right now and be like, "Hey, Sony."
They explained everything else stupidly. Why didn't they explain that stupidly?
I don't know.
Like, oh well, you need the old stuff in order to communicate with the dead.
Yeah,
great. Write it off.
I will say the stacked VHS players, though, I was like, okay, that's pretty hardcore. You got to copy VHS.
Why? DVDs exist. Digital files exist at this point. Like, what are you doing?
But you can't do the quick play and stop and record thing, man. With the DVD, you can't do it.
Like, I had VLC media player in 2005.
You were 12 in 2005. Come on, man.
I was 16, Russ.
Exactly.
I was driving to the movies by myself to watch White Noise with Chris.
Exactly. All right, so they're watching.
I had an iPod, Russ. I had an iPod. I had a fucking iPod.
So they're watching a bunch of static TV, like two guys trying to watch Skinamax through, like, the wavy channel, being like,
oh, maybe if we twisted volume knobs,
we might get a little something here. I don't know. Dude, stand in the corner and it'll come in. Don't worry about it.
Put that lampshade on your head. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, chew on this tinfoil. It'll come in. Don't worry about it. And then you get a sense that Raymond Price might be a little nutty. And he's a little obsessed, right? Because
just now getting a sense?
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. He's heavily into Sony Electronics, which isn't a problem. Sony Electronics, good stuff.
We all are. Sony, not a sponsor.
But his place is just littered and covered with just recordings and tapes and cassettes and equipment and gear and all this sort of stuff. So he's all in. He's
like talking about the rush that you get when you're listening to dead people.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. It's pretty fucked up. And this is when he prompts Jonathan, Michael Keaton, to say, "Oh, Mr. Rivers, you want to hear your wife?" It's like, and he's like, "Duh. Why am I here?"
It's kind of like a leading question. I mean, come on, man. Like, kind of a douchey question to ask.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Nah, I'm just going to go home, which he should have said, because you don't mess around with the dead.
Right. So then after that, then they start hearing in the static, "Jonathan Rivers. Jonathan, find him. Jonathan, please find him." And like over and over again, Jonathan starts sobbing because he's convinced that this is his wife trying to communicate with him. Raymond shuts it off. And this is when we get our line from the quote here. Here, it has milk, which gross.
Sarah comes back with a tea, and
with
she just
milk in it, which gross.
What?
Never put milk in. I know there's a lot of people who put milk in tea.
It's a British thing, right? Is it a British thing?
Maybe.
Must be. She probably
there's no way to know.
I don't know. There isn't. No. Yeah. I do honey. Honey or I wouldn't do sugar, but like a little honey. That's about it.
I like my tea. I like my coffee. Nothing in it other than the beverage.
That's fair. That's fine.
No sugar. No nothing. Anyway, so she's like, "Here, this has milk," which, like, why wouldn't you ask?
Yeah, and why would they call that out? And now that we know that Keaton's family drank soy milk and regular milk, like, which is it? Like,
classic soy boy.
So that was weird. That's another milk moment. And then, so then they're hanging out for a bit, and then Raymond Price is like, "Oh, I've got to go take a shit. I'll be right back." And he just disappears randomly for like a long time. And it's like, oh, I think he actually had to go take it. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, guy?
It could be anything.
And literally just leaving so the two of them can talk. So Sarah and Keaton can like now have a connection. And it just so happens that Sarah owns a bookstore.
Right. And she knows Michael Keaton's wife. Like, your wife is a wonderful writer. Also, she's talking about how she, like, oh yeah, like listening to the dead people. I know it seems like it's a whole thing. Took me a little bit to get used to, but now I'm addicted to it. Like, wait, that's a weird thing.
It's a little bit.
I guess we'll dismiss that. And,
I mean, I guess when you're in Raymond Price's house, that's not that weird of a thing to say.
Sure. Yeah, you could say much weirder things. Like, here, it has milk.
Oh, thanks. Great.
And her fiance died 8 months ago, apparently. And she finally heard Sarah yes, which apparently there's a lot of this going around in this movie, but her fiance somehow, before he died, promised her that when he died, he'd reach out from beyond the grave and tell her if he was happy or not. Which, what? Like, have you ever said that to a partner of like, hey, you know what? Just in case I die, I'll find you from beyond the grave. I'll find you. It's a weird thing to say.
It is a weird thing to say.
Yeah. And then she just goes, well, and we probably won't hear from him again, but that's okay. I heard what I wanted to hear. Oh, okay. Cool.
And scene.
And glad we wrapped that up.
We're good.
Like back to the mansion where it's always raining constantly.
So then, yeah, Keaton's back home and it's nighttime and he makes a recording, right? Mm-hmm. First, I think, right?
Well, first he listens to the static on the boombox. And he starts talking to it where he says, Anna, this is John. If there's any way you can hear me, well, will you please let me know?
Yeah.
And then there's just static and there's nothing. Cutscene.
Yeah.
Great. Let's move on.
And then it goes into like a listening montage, right?
Yes. Oh my God. So much Sony.
So there is so many montages, by the way, and it's just so much Sony here. So it's Keaton just listening to static at home, at work, while he drives.
To the tape in his car. He's at work with the headphones.
Clearly the signs. He's becoming obsessed. Okay.
He's not paying attention to the road anymore.
Which, by the way, you get in a car accident right now, that solves all of the problems.
Well, not for your son, who is to be mentioned never again, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, the ending, but the ending would still be the same if he just died right now, right? Because he still dies at the end. Spoilers. Right. But whatever.
So he's not paying attention to the road. All of a sudden, he hears something on the radio. Susie.
That's right. Susie.
So he cranks up the volume and he gets, Susie, call me. And that's when he veers across the yellow lines and he basically almost kills himself and whoever else is across the road because it's traffic. It's during the day. And also, again, where is his son? Like, we haven't seen him in many scenes.
No, I think his son was, I think there was a quick shot of basically him pawning his son off to his ex-wife. Because I think they played this every once in a while. It was just like, hey, ex-wife, take the son because I'm dealing with mental problems.
Yeah, which is fair, I guess. But
it's been 6
God bless her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an angel. So this
we cut to Raymond's house again, right?
So they're hanging out and Ray goes away, right?
Inexplicable amount of time has passed because we've gone from Raymond was calling him Mr. Rivers constantly. And now he's like, oh, I'm sorry, John. We have to be patient. And then this is when, Raymond goes away.
Because Keaton came in hot because he was like, he heard it through the static, right? And he came in fired up being like, hey, can I see her? And it's like, whoa, we got to be patient. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
Listen, buddy. Let's go easy there.
Start with listening. And then Raymond goes away. And this is when Keaton finally hears, tell him because I love him, which is not helpful. Not helpful at all. No. And then we get the lights flickering.
Yeah, behind him. Yeah.
The graphics are awful. There's headlights outside, and like Michael Keaton's like, oh, that was probably the lights. Which like, no, the light was the spooky ghost that you led into the universe now, and good job screwing up everything for everyone.
Yeah,
but whatever.
You should stop meddling with the dead.
Right, and then all of a sudden he gets distorted screaming from the speakers.
And it gets it's chaos.
Bastard.
Yeah, it's just like chaos, right? It's just like jumping around. It's like
you pig, bitch, bastard.
Craziness like going on.
Cartman Tourette's South Park episode
with a mix of like Sam Raimi-esque horror movie, like zooms in like the speakers and like just jumping around the camera, jumping around, but not nearly as good. So picture Sam Raimi horror movie, but not nearly as good.
Right. Yep.
With Cartman yelling bastard.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Right? That's about it.
I think we nailed it.
Yep. And then, he gets the Michael Keaton addresses this with Raymond, but like, who is that? And Raymond just goes, "It's okay. We have some very bad people out there." And then he just like deletes the message.
Like,
it's like, and they're gone.
And that's
that was easy.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okie dokie.
Guess
like,
so. Like,
and then he just goes, "They can't all be nice. They can't all be Anna, you know."
Like, why? What? Why wouldn't Ray be a little more upfront about this? What's going on?
Also, why wasn't Ray? Ray? Why are we calling him Ray? Ray Kroc? Oh, Raymond. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking Michael Keaton. Like, he's not at all skeptical of any of this. Like, he just immediately accepts that. Oh yeah, no, it's dead spirits that are communicating with us, and this is the way now.
Yeah,
like
this is it.
Never once does he think twice about like, what am I getting myself into? It's just like full throttle, regardless of any consequences.
I mean, he's just got that taste of hearing, his
it's off.
Just his ex-wife, not his ex-wife. So
not his ectoplasm wife either. Yeah.
No, so a lot of open questions. And that's, I think that's it for part 1.
Yeah. Might as well wrap it up there. So thank you for bearing with us and listening. Dear listeners, we'll be back on Thursday with part 2. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, and we're ITMT Pod on Twitter.
Yeah, we're pretty hot on Twitter. Instagram, yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get better. It's just the images, it's kind of
pictures.
God, if we could only just post static messages where you could listen, hear us talk.
I guess we can.
Yeah. But if you're also feeling old-fashioned, you can reach us via the email at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. But then you can find all of our episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com. Thanks for listening.
Love you.